your girl Keely, and I am back with another video. Today's video is going to be a story time for you guys, as you can tell by that title. So before we get into all that, make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the channel. If you are new, what is up? I'm Keylynn. It's Keylynn on all my social medias, and just welcome to my life. If you are a returning subscriber, what's up? Thank you for coming back. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, you know, all the jazz. And we're about to get this video started. So you guys know that I take a lot of notes, which is what I do because I tend to forget things. We'll get into that later. All right. So when I was 16, I was a junior. Yeah, a junior in high school, and I was on my way to college. Like, it was like a dual credit type thing that my school offered, and on the way there, or before we even started driving, I was actually sitting on, okay, so I guess I have to take y'all back to the scenario. So Trey, which is from my previous video, he and I were sitting on the bus, and I was sitting on the outside of the bus, on the outside seat or whatever. He was sitting over by the window. Now, when he started sitting, or he was like, pretty much he told me to move to by the window because it was a lot safer than sitting on the outside. You know, anything could happen. So he and I ended up switching seats mid drive to college or whatever, and we had to go on a highway to get to our college, because technically I think it was like in another town or city. Yeah. So we ended up going on a highway, and as we were in the far right lane, or the furthest right lane before merging, there was a car that was going to merge, and that car pretty much collided with the side of the bus. Or I don't know if the car actually collided, but all I know is at the time the bus driver swerved, and when he swerved, I hit my head on the window. Trey hit his head on the seat. We both had concussions. I didn't go to the hospital for at least maybe, I want to say 3 days after the accident even happened. And this was around, it had to be between Thanksgiving and Christmas. I really don't remember the actual dates. But we was at a family gathering, so I stayed between, and it was cold and it was snow on the ground, so I stayed between Thanksgiving and Christmas. And so I didn't go to the hospital until 3 days later. Going to the hospital, I finally I was trying to go about things like my daily life and everything normally, and that didn't really work. In the process, I was walking. I thought I was walking in a straight line, but I was walking into oncoming traffic one day downtown, and my mom had to literally hold my hand and make me walk in a straight line, because I thought I was walking in a straight line, but I was literally walking straight into traffic. I ended up I was constantly getting headaches, and I was just it'll pass. I didn't say much about it because I just thought it'll pass. And I was always I was very sensitive to light. So I was just okay. So I finally got enough of my head hurting so bad. So I told my mom, I was like, Mom, I think I really need to go to the hospital to get my head checked out. She had knew about the bus accident only because I told her. I don't think the school told anybody. No, the school did not call the parents or anything like that. And technically, I learned later that the school should have taken us to the hospital, but they did not as well. But the bus driver did not, or whatever. So I told my mom, I was like, I can't take the headaches no more. It's been 3 days, and I'm still having headaches. I can't do it. So I went to the hospital, and that was a 5-hour wait, and I'm not even lying. It was probably more than 5 hours. I went to the hospital, I want to say between 5 and 8, between that time period. And then I did not get seen or placed somewhere until midnight. And then I did not leave the hospital until 4 a.m. the next day. That's how long of a wait it was. So that entire time my head was killing me. they didn't do any tests. Like what they did was like they gave me some IVs and everything, or they gave me an IV. They couldn't draw blood. They stuck me in like 3 different places on my hand, and because they couldn't get it from my veins because they wasn't giving me no water. And I was telling them like, yo, if you give me water, you get all the blood you need. They would not give me water, so they stuck me in my hand, and in my arm, which they couldn't get blood. So then they switched hands, and somebody finally was able to get an IV hooked into my hand, and they pumped it full of I want to say tramadol. I don't remember, but all I know is whatever they pumped me or gave me in the IV had me knocked. I don't remember what happened. I just remember waking up and I was still in the hospital. My hands were freezing and my feet were freezing, and I had to pee, obviously, because I had IVs and fluids in my system. So that was the first thing. I woke up and I was like, I had to go to the bathroom. And then I think that it was the doctor that came in, and she was like, how's your head feeling? I was like, I'm good now. I just have to go to the bathroom. So she ended up prescribing me tramadol. I can't remember the dosage. And so that lasted. And then I ended up moving out to Lafayette. And I was taking the tramadol, but I was always going to sleep because it was such a heavy dose. Like, if you know anything about tramadol, it like, depending on the dosage, that stuff is like, it's not a official narcotic, but it should be. Like, that's how strong it is. Like, it's not a narcotic officially, but it should be. So I would take that before I would go to school, and I like sometimes by like my 3rd or 4th period I would be exhausted, and sometimes I would fall asleep in class, and obviously I would get in trouble. So I went to a doctor out here, and they were like, I explained like I was in an accident when I was back home, and yada yada yada. So they did not know what to do. Nobody really knew what to do. I told her I wanted to be off the tramadol. So she was like, my doctor out here told me to pretty much keep a journal with me and like write down my symptoms when I'm about to have like one of those like a horrible headache, because the side effects that left me or made me want to continue to figure out what's going on with my head is, the main one is headaches. Like, I get constant headaches and migraines, and nobody could figure out why until I got a CAT scan done. But because I'm skipping a step, before I even moved out here, I went to the doctor back home after I left the hospital, because they didn't do much but give me a prescription, and I had to go get it filled. So I went to my doctor back home, and he was like, yeah, it's looking like you're just having brain spasms. And I was like, I was looking for more than just brain spasms. I was trying to find a cure. Like, is this going to be something I have to deal with for the rest of my life? He just wasn't giving me what I wanted. So then they actually gave me another prescription. I don't remember what it was, but I took that, and that's when I moved out here I was on the tramadol and the other prescription. But the tramadol was the one that was putting me to sleep, because I didn't take the other prescription, because I think it was just tramadol but a different dosage, if I'm being honest. So after I moved out here, I went to another doctor, and she was like, keep a journal, and when you notice that you're about to start having these headaches, write down like your symptoms, just write down your environment. And so I remember the headaches would be triggered by lights, like fluorescent lights, like anything like bright lights, pretty much like the ring light or maybe even brighter. It would trigger, like it would start with a ringing in my head, and then I would start feeling it, like a little bit of pressure back here, and then it would just travel. So I would start doing that, and after that I could not deal with anything pretty much for like the rest of the day. Like, it was a struggle. So a lot of the times I spent my senior year of high school in the nurse's office because my head. So I finally got tired of that, and I went to go see a neurologist, and they did a CAT scan, and I don't remember what the results were, but they were like, we couldn't see what we needed to see, so they scheduled me for an MRI, which I didn't get to go to. I don't know why, because I think it was because the head neurologist was out of town or something, and they were waiting on him to get back, and I just never heard from them again. So yeah, I just kind of roll with the punches. For the most part, the symptoms of this like bus accident have left me with like memory loss. Like, I don't remember a lot of stuff, and you know, I thought I had pretty good memory. No, I don't now. Another side effect, I can't really, sometimes I get stuck on words, like I'll stutter, or I just won't know what to say, or I'll just have a momentary like I can't ever think of like the right words to say type thing, or I'll just have like literally a whole, I guess, brain fart, like blank. There's nothing there. Like I'll try and it gets so embarrassing sometimes because people have to finish my sentence for me, and like before this happened, that never happened. So that was an adjustment. The brain spasms, I guess, are kind of like permanent. Like I still get them. I just don't get them as frequent, which is a good sign, I guess. But I do get them. I had weakness of my left, like I'm dominant. My right side is my dominant side. So naturally I'm stronger in this hand, but this hand, it was like this side is just weak. Like I can't really form a fist for too long. It gets exhausting. I don't know how that happened, but like after it happened, my mom's a nurse, so after like a couple of days after, I was doing like a squeeze test where she was telling me to squeeze both hands and squeeze her fingers, and she was like, I was squeezing as hard as I can, y'all. I promise, I was squeezing as hard as I can, and my mom was like, squeeze, and I'm like, I was over here struggling, thinking I was squeezing her finger hard to where she was about to tell me to stop. She was like, squeeze. I'm like, I was squeezing, apparently. So I just had left side weakness. I'm still like very sensitive to light as well. Like I can't really be under fluorescent lights too long. Or just bright lights in general too long. It definitely does like mess up my head, or mess with my head. I will say that it's been like a minute since I've actually had a really bad, the last time I had a really bad migraine was COVID, and I don't know if that was just because I had COVID or because of my accident. But yeah, so like that's pretty much the gist of it. So if you guys ever wonder like why in some of my videos like I can't think of the right word to say, or just like I take a pause or anything like that, now you know. It's because I was involved in an accident when I was 16 years old, and it left me with some head damage, which kind of sucks, but you know, I cope, I deal with it. But that was the end of this video. If you guys liked it, make sure to give it a big old thumbs up. Oh my god, make sure to like this video, comment, subscribe, share the video, get it out there. Always remember, you are loved, you matter, and you are enough. If nobody has told you, I love you, and continue to do great things. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.